I'll be doing some web-based challenges. And okay, so we are going to work on that. Okay, just now we are going to go to overthewire.org, the website that I showed you yesterday. Okay, so it has some challenges known as war games. Okay, so let's start with the first one, known as Bandit. Now, we are not going to go through all of them. That's not what we're going to do, because that's going to take a lot of time. Excuse me. Okay, so the first one is Bandit. So this is the first game that you play on this website. And if you have your system up and running at this time, you can actually do this along with me. You don't need to install anything separately. You don't need to download anything. It's just something that you can access using SSH.
Sir, for me it's telling secure connection failed.
For what? Like what link?
Over the wire. Over
Overthewire.org.
over the wire.org. Yeah.
Can you show me the screen once?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Over the wire.org.
Okay. Just try googling over the wire. Let's see. This kind of issue should not be occurring, or just
Secure connection failed.
secure connection failed. Okay, that should not be the case. I mean, try accessing this link directly, overthewire war games. I'm pasting it in chat.
Okay.
Okay, it's in chat. Take a look at that.
Okay.
That's strange. Are you able to access it on your main device, on our main OS?
This page isn't working. Over the wire. Spelling is correct, na sir? Over.
Overthewire.org. Yeah, spelling is fine. That's strange. Let me.
Internet issue make create a problem, but I'm able to access other websites. Maybe I have internet issue.
That's probably what's happening.
Yeah,
Okay,
now,
now that this is
yeah,
opening.
yes, bit slow but opening.
It's slow, but it is opening. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Leave that alone. Leave the
Yeah.
website alone. Just try and look at my screen when I'm showing you
Okay.
that,
Yeah.
and follow along.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what we were going to do, okay, bandit. So the way to access this is, okay, they've actually explained this as well. So this game is organized in levels. Okay, you start at level 0 and you try to solve the challenge for it, and that will give you the password for the next level. So finishing a level results in information on how to start the next level. Okay, so there's a few other things. Okay, so begin with level 0. So the goal of this level is for you to log into the game using SSH. So for SSH, you simply go to your terminal, and the host to which you need to connect is bandit.labs.overthewire.org. What I will do is I'll paste this in the chat as well. So on port 2220, the username is bandit0 and the password is bandit0. So simply what we need to do is SSH bandit, okay, bandit0 at the rate bandit.labs.overthewire.org. And since this is not on the default, which is port 22, I also need to specify the port separately, just 2220. Okay, so it says this is an over the wire game server, and it's asking me for the password. So the password, as we have seen here, it is also bandit0. So type that in, and we are logged in. Okay, try doing this on your end as well. Are you able to sign in? This is the command, bandit0 at the rate that bandit.labs, which I've mentioned in chat as well. Are you able to connect? Are you able to log in using this?
Sir, could not resolve host name for me.
Could not resolve host name.
Oh, yeah, once. There is a spelling mistake. The authenticity of host bandit can't be established. ECDSA key fingerprint is a
It is going to ask you
SHA-258.
for yes or no.
Yes, it asks me yes or
Just say yes.
it's asking for password. Password
Password
is
is bandit0.
bandit.
So the same as the username. This is the password.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're able to log in. Okay, so when you log in, okay, so it's shows you the user as well. Bandit0 at bandit. If you want to confirm again, you can use ID, and we are logged in as bandit0. Now what I need to do is I need to find out how to go to the next level. So I need to solve whatever challenge is present within this level, and that will help me Move on to the next one. So let's go here, level 0 to level 1. So it says the password for this next level is stored in a file called readme located in the home directory. Use this to log into Bandit using SSH. Okay, so let's ls see what files we have available.
Readme.
So there's the readme, and we can try to access it, see what it contains. Okay, so it contains this value. Now, what is this? This is the password for the next level. Okay, so just copy it, and there should have been an option of switch user directly, but I don't think that they have enabled that on the server. Let me try. Can I switch user like this? Authentication failure. Let me try copying the password again. So this method does not work. Okay, so let's come out of this. Just repeat the same command, just this time with bandit 1. And enter. It's going to ask you for the password. Now the password we already have, we copied it earlier. Just paste it, press enter, and you'll be logged in as bandit 1. So we've solved the first level. Now it was a very basic one because it just wanted to show us how to do things.
So same command, just username is bandit1, right?
Yes, just instead of the 0, it's bandit 1. And the password will be what you found in the readme file.
Okay.
Okay, so for the next level, it says bandit level 1 to level 2. And the password for the next level is stored in a file called this, simply a hyphen located in the home directory. Let us check what do we have. We should be in the home directory when we log in. We are. With ls, let's check what files we have. And there is one file with the name of simply dash. So how should we access this file? Like, I just need to read it.
Cat.
Cat, and this, but this is not going to work.
Okay.
Because,
Less,
pardon,
less those things.
less than. But what is this going to do?
No, no, sir. Cat hyphen, then we need to save into some other file. So does it work?
Okay. Something like this.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that is not going to work because we don't have any permissions to create a new file here.
We
Okay,
cannot.
whenever if you feel like you're stuck, they've also provided hints and helpful reading material, and you can take a look at this guide and special characters, and somewhere in here is also a character known as dash. Now let me just skip this and go to the how to solve it. So if you read through that, you will find that if you want to access this file, there are two ways. Either you specify it using this format dot slash, oh, sorry, dash. So this dot is also sorry, not also, always used to refer to the current directory. Okay, and we are telling it that okay, within this current directory, I want to access a file which is this. Simply whatever file you want to specify. So in this case, the file name is simply a dash.
Sir, for a bandit one, you have used port 2220 only, right? Same.
Yes, yes. See,
For me, timeout it gave.
it's giving you a timeout.
Yeah. Connection to host bandit port 2220 connection timeout.
Try again. Is it like
Bandit bandit one bandit labs dot. Yeah.
same thing?
Oh, sir, still it's running.
Okay.
It is taking longer time and I'm giving timeout on this.
I think there might you are having some issues with the network
Okay. Today a bit slow. Network is a bit slow.
because with the VM, if you're using this on a VM, there's an extra additional layer of network address translation that is added.
Okay.
So if you are already having a very slow network today, then this might be the case, especially if you're trying to use SSH here.
Okay.
Mm, about the network, I'm not sure what the issue might be there. So can't really say.
Still I didn't get any result of that. Maybe it's a timeout on this.
Okay, so yeah, that's probably the case because see, the site is working. I can access it. I'm able to connect to it as well.
For bandit zero I didn't find any problem, but one it's giving problem. It should not, right? It's just a user.
Yeah. Are you able to connect to Bandit Zero? Like you were able
Yes,
to
sir.
do that
Yes,
previously.
sir. Yes, I'm in bandit zero only.
Okay. From Bandit Zero, you are running this command.
Yes, sir.
No, you
Oh,
need to exit
okay.
your system. See,
Yeah,
I
I
I exited, then I did the connection again.
okay, okay. I need to press exit.
Yeah, you need to type exit.
Okay, but yeah, that I don't think.
Now, like when you connected previously, just press the up arrow key once and you'll reach the same command. Just change
Mm.
0 to 1 there.
Sorry, what did you say? Exit one?
See, when you press exit, you will
Yeah.
come back to your terminal, your system's
Yes, sir.
terminal.
Yes,
So
sir.
after that, just press the up arrow key and you will get
Yeah.
back to the same command.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, I did.
see, now try logging in.
Yes. Got it.
Okay, able to log in now.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
that's good. Okay, just give me one moment and I'll continue to that. Okay, yeah, let's continue. So we saw that we use this method to access the contents of this file. Can you think of any other method that could be used to do the exact same thing? I mean, we'll be using the cat command for that as well. Just we'll be using a different route.
Mhm, yes, sir. No idea.
Okay, I can take a longer route and also say cat home bandit one and this dash or hyphen, whatever you want to call it. That will also
Okay.
give you the same result. So this is the password we have now. So copy it. I'll just make sure it is copied. Connect again. Want it to this time. It asks for the password. Enter the password, and now we are logged in as Bandit 2. So we've solved this first one as well. Okay, let's continue. So for level 2, how to proceed with level 2? Go to this link. It tells us that the password for the next level is stored in a file called spaces in this file name. Okay, located in the home directory. Okay, let's check that. Perform ls. We have spaces in this file name. Now it appears like this, these are multiple files, but long format ls tells us that it is actually just one single file called spaces in this file name. Now if I were to write cat spaces in this file name, if I'm going to write this, it is going to tell me that no such file or directory, because it thinks that I'm trying to output, or I'm trying to read four different files. A file called spaces, file called in, same for the and file name. So we'll have to do something different here. Like just directly, if I am writing it, it's not going to work. Okay, any suggestions for this?
Sir, I did cat and space and I pressed space bar. So it gave me space slash in slash this slash and 5M. Then it opened. It showed me a
Okay,
password.
if you type cat,
So, yeah, space
start
bar.
typing it, spacebar.
Yeah,
Actually, it should be tab. It's spacebar. Why is it giving?
I did like that.
It's space. It doesn't give anything.
Oh, sorry. Hello? Ah, yes, sir. Sorry, tab.
Tab, because tab is used for autocomplete. Uh, there is no other file which is starting with space. It will tab it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is one way to do this. Is that you add these backward slashes before the space. And are you familiar with these? What is happening with these backward slashes?
No, sir. I need to check with Linux commands. I have to
No, like
learn. Check.
this is kind of something that's more of a general thing when it comes to programming and stuff. This is not just for Linux. Okay, listen. There is something known as escape sequences. When you have some special characters, okay, now space, what is space used as by default? If I'm just typing space here, if even when you perform ls and you see that there are multiple files, they're all separated by a space, right?
Yeah.
Like if I just do ls on my system, I perform ls, then these are separated by spaces. Of course, this gap is also somewhat dependent on the on how long the name of the largest file in that column is, but otherwise these are all spaces. So spaces are used as delimiters. Even if we are specifying a command like, let's say, nmap hyphen v and hyphen st, so this space is used as a delimiter to separate two different arguments or two different inputs. But in this case, these spaces are a part of the file name itself. They're not separating the names of different files. They are a part of this name. So when we add a backward slash, it basically tells the system that, okay, don't treat the next character as a special character, treat it as a normal character. So it is not going to treat space as a delimiter, just like any other character like A, B, C, or D. And when I press this, I get the answer. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this kind of thing you also see in like Java and C, Python, like whatever languages you see, there will be some special
Yes, sir.
characters and white spaces and stuff.
Yeah, we use in Java and even database.
Exactly. So even there you see this concept of backward slash. So this is one way. The other way is if I were to simply just enclose the name in quotes, cat spaces in the file name, and that's is going to again open that file, because whatever you are enclosing within the quotes is going to treat as a single parameter. So it's going to know that this is a single file that you are going to specify, and that is the second way to do this. So again, let's copy this, exit out of here, move on to the third one. The password for the next level is stored in a hidden file in the in here directory. Okay, let's perform this. Okay, there is a directory called in here. We'll go to it, and again, if we do an ls, it's not going to appear. So what command do we use to see hidden files using ls?
Minus H or something. It was, I forgot. Minus L.
L is for getting the details in
Yeah,
the long
details. Yeah.
detail format, right? For this thing, we use hyphen a. Okay, let me just.
All.
This is done with ls hyphen a, and if you use ls hyphen al, that is going to give you an like more complete overview. So it is going to show you hidden files as well, and for all files that it shows, you'll get the details as well. So there is a file called hidden, and any hidden file is preceded by a dot. So you can just say cat dot hidden, and we'll be able to access the file contents. Okay, back to the browser yet. I have to. Now this can get a little bit tedious having to type this, but there is a way around this as well. I'll show you this in a later level. It is close to what you were doing earlier, but not exactly the same thing. For Bandit 4, now let's check what we need to do. And we'll just go back to the browser. So it says that the password for the next level is stored in the only human readable file in the in here directory. Okay. First, let's check whether the directory is present here. Okay, the directory is here. Let's go to it. Let's enter that directory. Okay, ls. There are 10 files, and the hint is that the password is stored in the only human readable file. Okay, let me just try accessing a file at random. Like if I specify, so this is not going to work. Let's say I specify file 4 at random. There's barely anything, it just is showing up as 2 question marks. What about file 9? Again, this is not really human readable stuff. Now, one way to do this would be to go through the entire thing line by line, or sorry, file by file. But that's not really what we should be doing. So it says now if I come back to this website, it says commands you may need to solve this level: ls, cd, cat, file, do, and find. Now, what command out of these could be possibly used for this purpose?
I don't know about these commands. I
No.
know
Okay.
LSCD.
ls, cd, and cat you would be familiar with, right?
Yeah, maybe file we can use.
Okay. File, right? Are you familiar with the file command?
I don't remember now actually.
Okay. File. Okay, we'll come back to it. Du is for disk usage. It's not going to help us here. Let me tell you that beforehand. Find, okay, find you have seen when I did the previous CTFs. I used the find command. So that one you have definitely seen. Now file command. Okay, if you're not sure, you can always look at the manual page for a command. So it tells us that file determines the file type. Okay. So if you give it a file, if you specify a file, it's going to specify what kind of file it is. So would we be able to use this command, or would it not help us in this case?
It may help, sir. I
It
feel.
might help. Okay. So let's see file, and now we are going to be using this dot slash format because the file name starts with a dash or a hyphen. If I say file 00 with this command, let's see what it tells me. Okay, it tells me that it is data. Now I could run this 10 times and find out, but instead I could just use a wildcard. So it is going to run for all files. Let's see what it has to tell us.
Yes. Yeah,
So
I guess 7 is our thing, ASCII text.
ASCII text. Okay. So for the other files, it's telling us that there's some data, but for file 7, it's saying that there is ASCII text in it. So let's try accessing that file with cat again. File 07. Okay, so this is our password. ASCII text is text that is readable, human readable actually. So all the others, all the other files are data files. They have, like, they might be binaries, but this file, we know it has ASCII text, so we check that out and we find the password for the next level. Exit it again and go back to our system to connect to the next level. Okay, so we are in the next level, level 5. So the password for this next level is stored in a file somewhere under the in here directory and has all of the following properties. So it is human readable, it is 1033 bytes in size, and it is not executable. Okay, it's not executable. Fine. Okay, let's first try accessing the directory. Let's first check ls. Okay, cd and here. Now ls. Okay, So first of all, we see that there are 20 different directories. If I try to access any of these, maybe here 0, 5, let's say, okay, 8.
Sir, it is telling all executable. Okay, these are directories. Okay.
These are directories, yeah. Now within this particular directory, there are about 8 to 10 files. Okay, 9 files to be precise. So I'm not going to be checking each file individually. That's out of the question. So we'll have to use something that will go through this directory and all the subdirectories in it and try to figure out which file matches this specified criteria. If I employ the previous technique, so okay, but that cannot be employed here since we are currently within a directory that is having no files.
So we can use multiple commands using that pipe symbol.
Using the file command,
Pipe symbol and all, so we can
pipe,
get into the
yeah,
multiple
multiple
command. Like
commands you
it's a
can use. Like they don't place any limitation. You can definitely use multiple commands. So what command would we be using and how would we be specifying that?
maybe here find can be used.
Okay, yes, we are going in the right direction. And how do we use the find command here exactly?
Find actually again we have to use special like escape characters like special characters star and then
No, no. For file, none of that is required. Okay, let's see what we're going to do here. So first of all, let us just run the sorry, not for file, for find. For find, none of those are required. We are going to use find. File is not going to be used. Find is what we are going to focus on. But find does not work like file does. It is going to, okay, I didn't specify anything. If I look at the manual page for find, okay, now it has a lot of options that we can use, a lot of switches that we can specify basically. And we already have a list of criteria to keep in mind. Like it's human readable, it's 1033 bytes in size, and it is not executable. Okay, so I have to keep all of this criteria in mind. So if I go through this entire thing, okay, so there is this size option that I can specify, and it is going to consider files which are as big as the size that we specify. And what does it say? That it uses file uses n units of space. Now we'll specify 1033 bytes, 1033 bytes, right? Okay. So for that we'll use this C option for KB or for 2 byte words, or for the other options you don't need. So the way to use that is, first thing is find, specify that you want to run the find command, and I specify the size option 1033, and I will specify C since it is in bytes. And when I run this, it will give me just one result. I can just cat this out. So this is the required flag. So when you look at these hints, okay, and it specifies that you might need to look at these commands to solve this challenge. So if you are unsure of what to use, you can always look at the manual pages for these commands to figure out what kind of options you can specify and how else you can use that command. So that is what is going to work for us. Now, okay, we have this password already. I'm just going to use that. So the next level, password for the next level is stored somewhere on the server and has all of the following properties. Somewhere on the server. So if I say ls, we don't have any particular directories present here. So
So
now
hidden file.
hidden. Okay, let's
Yeah.
check. Nope, no hidden directories. It says somewhere on the server. It didn't say that it specifically has to be within this particular directory. It can be
Yes.
anywhere on the
Oh.
server. So what command would we be using in this case?
Server means something they should have given. No? The directory server means like maybe it is same website we need to check. It is banded. Sorry, over the wire.org.
We say that it's somewhere on the server. So somewhere on the server where we are logged in. These challenges have nothing to do with their website. On the server where we are logged in, on which you are present. That is the target for this.
They have mentioned grep means we can go with the grep for now.
They have mentioned grep, yes. So how are you going to use grep? Like what are you going to grep here?
I don't remember. I forgot all these commands.
Okay, do you remember what grep is used for? It is used to look for a particular expression, a particular string of text. So how is that going to help us here? Okay, uh, I'll just go ahead and say that grep is not going to help for this level.
Yeah. So if where we logged in means we need to check in. Uh,
Okay, don't get confused by the somewhere on the server. That is fine. We'll find it. But what command do we use? Okay,
so we need to like they have mentioned as a owned by group band 6. So first
group
we need
band.
to go, yeah, group band 6 we need to check. Then it should be 32 bytes in size. But exactly why? First we need to check in bandit 6 only.
Bandit 6 is a group. What are you going to check there? It's not
Yeah,
a directory, it's not a file, it's a group.
yeah.
Just like you have a user, you have user groups. How are you going to check there? Okay, during the previous, what do you call it? The previous CTF, yeah, that we were working on, we used, we tried to find files with the set UID bit right? We
Yeah.
did that, and for that we looked on the entire like system. We weren't limited to any particular directory. What command did we use there? Like what was the basic command? Just the command, not any other parameter or anything.
So set UID. I think.
For finding the setuid bit files,
First, we did a setting of something hyphen s or u something. I don't remember.
not the parameters, just the basic command. No options, just the basic command that we use. The name of the command, Linux command. We use the find command. The command was something like find, and after that, whatever the rest of it was, okay, term actually. So it was a find command, and that is going to work for us in this case as well. You see, what we can do is you can specify the username and only give you results which include files that are owned by that particular user. And the same thing is true for groups as well. Yes. So what I can do is find and user to specify what user we need to look for. And let me check. The user is bandit7. Okay, so I'll just bandit7. Similarly, the group, I think the group was bandit6. Okay, yeah, that's it. Bandit6. So if I just do this, okay, I think this is very much required. And we find our file. So this is the password for level 7. Okay, we'll continue with this in the next session.